Hey there guys, my name is ARTFX and today we're going to be looking into a particular kind of sound that I hear a lot in cinematic music, but I think it actually would work very well in any electronic genre, especially the darker genres. Now, it's this really interesting rhythmic kind of thing. It's something we have to explain after the intro. So here we are inside Ableton Live. I've got Xfer Serum open and I've got a little MIDI clip here with simply what is this? A 4-bar E note. That's all it is, an E1 note, and we've got Serum open on that. So I'm gonna loop this section, and what we're gonna do today is create this really interesting sound. Now you've already heard the sound during the intro just now, that little pulsating background thing that you heard. That's what we're gonna be making. So let's start up by loading up a sine wave. Now you can use a pure sine. I'm gonna use the analog BD sine. It's almost a pure sine, but it has a few upper harmonics, and I think that will help in this particular sound because we're also gonna distort it. So the first thing we wanna do is create a pitch modulation. So I'm gonna create an LFO here, and I'm gonna set this to a 1/8 note measure. Now note that I'm creating this little point here because I want half of the half of every pulse that you hear in this rhythm to be exactly on the on the root pitch. So that's going to be E1. But I want the attack of the sound to have a pitch drop. So that's why I am creating this little envelope shape. I'm gonna re-trigger this because I simply want that particular rhythm to happen every 1/8 note. So now I can connect this to the global master tuning. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in here and select LFO number 1, and the destination is going to be global master tuning, and you want to make sure that this arrow right here is only pointing up and not doing that. So that means it's gonna go both down and up. We only want it to go up. So next, when I bring up this slider and now play, you can hear that we get a pulsating rhythm. And the more we bring that slider up, the higher the pitch is going to be of the attack of the sound. So I'm gonna set it roughly somewhere around there. Sounds nice. So now what I want to do is I want to go in here and I want to bring this down a full octave so that it goes into the sub-bass range because it's a little bit too high right now. So that's better. Now, next thing I want to do is I'm going to go into the warp mode here. And let's try out the warp mode flip. Now this will do a pretty interesting thing. As you can see, it flips it around, and I'm just going to set it somewhere around here. Now that is actually creating some really higher frequency harmonics because we get this really harsh edge right here. We're going to take those off with a low pass filter again. So I'm going to take a low pass filter here. I'm going to bring it down, so now we don't hear it anymore. But I'm going to create another LFO shape. So this one, we're just going to create a lot of spikes. So this is going to take a little while. And you can hold Alt when you create these points so that they will automatically snap to the grid. That speeds it up a little bit. And then we're again going to hold Alt, and then we're going to click and drag on this dot right here, and that will bend them all down in the exact same way. So now, I want to attach this to the cutoff frequency here. And we need to set the speed though. So I'm going to set this to 1 bar, I think. Yeah, so that already creates a little bit of a pulsating rhythm. We can bring this down a bit and play with the range. I want something like that. And now what you want to do, and this is where the magic is going to come from, you want to make a rhythm that's slightly different every time. So you don't want to have the same thing going on. I'm just going to do... Let's do that, and let's make this point go back down again. Mm. So next up, I think it would be nice to add a saw wave to this to give it some more harmonics. The first oscillator definitely takes care of the sub bass in the sound, but we need a little bit more upper harmonics. So I'm gonna use a saw wave, and I'm also gonna detune this one because I want a bit more stereo width, especially when you make cinematic style sounds. There's usually a lot of stereo width in them. So let's give this second oscillator 2 voices. And that already creates a lot more width. I'm also going to bring that an octave down. Now we do get a little bit of oscillation in the sub bass range now. I'm not sure if I like that, so maybe we want to bring this an octave up. So we don't hear that sub frequency volume movement anymore. And I might want to play with that. That sounds a little bit better. Next up, I think it would be nice to add some noise to this as well. So let's take the bright white noise. I think that's going to be a good one. And I'll attach another LFO to the level of that. And again, I want to create a shape here. But I want to accent these two hits. So I want to accent this hit right here, and I think I want to put an accent somewhere right here in the end. So what we can do is bring this one down, and we have an accent going on right here. So let's do this. And we need to set the rate to 1 bar as well. So that creates something that sounds a little bit like a clap. Or a hi-hat. Could be one of the two. And then let's take, I think right here would be nice. Or maybe we can do it right here, which is one spot earlier. And probably don't want to have that much level on the noise. So that sounds pretty nice. Now let's go into the effects, because where this really gonna shine is when we add some pretty good distortion to it. So I'm gonna use the distortion here, and let's use the tube, and let's just bring that up quite a bit. And you can hear when we do that we can also bring the noise back up as well, because the noise is getting a little bit quieter when we do that. So now with the distortion, it already sounds a bit more interesting. So let's go in here and let's change the pitch right here. So let's add a little bit of chorus to it. I'm also going to add a compressor. This compressor is going to take care of the very harsh peaks that come up every now and then, especially on those accents that we created. So that's just going to flatten it all out, and then we can bring up the makeup gain. Now, one thing I notice is maybe it would be nice if we create another LFO, and let's create a bit of a shape like that. And let's attach that on a 1/8 note measure to the volume of these two oscillators. So I'm gonna take these two oscillators, I'm just gonna assign that to the volume. Now that's too much, we don't want to have that much volume modulation going on, but just a little bit. And probably want to back this one down a bit as well. So now we need a little bit of distortion, and I'm going to use Heaviosity Punish. Heaviosity Punish is a pretty interesting plugin. It comes with a compressor, saturation, a transient shaper, and an EQ. But we're going to be using the saturation module. So let's turn everything off. Let's keep the limiter on so that we don't clip. And I'm going to play this right now. And let's bring the mix down a bit. So that sounds pretty cool. So now we have the thing, pretty much. This is pretty much what you want to have. From here on, it doesn't really sound that cinematic right now, right? But if we start adding some other sounds, so let me add an impact sound here, and let me take some other stuff. So here we have the same thing now, but I've added a couple of samples to it. So I've added a couple of impact sounds here. We have one impact sound and another impact sound. Then we've got some kicks here. So those are more some cinematic style kicks. And here we have a percussion loop. And that will show you that this, just by adding these few sounds, will actually make this sound a lot more cinematic. So this is still very dry. There's no reverb going on whatsoever. But this is how it sounds. There we go. So, there you have it, guys. That's it. That's how you can create really interesting cinematic pulsating rhythms that you can use in any electronic genre pretty much. But I do think they would fit more in the darker electronic genres. Now, if you like this video, then please give me a comment, a like, and if you haven't, please subscribe to this channel. Click the little bell icon to get notified as soon as I post a video or when I start doing a live stream, which is every Friday at 8 p.m. Central European Time. So if you haven't tuned into one of the live streams yet, then please come and check it out. Upcoming Friday. I don't know what the live stream is going to be about. We can continue working on the hardstyle or hardcore track that we started on, or we could actually go and try and make something else. So let me know in the comments below what you think of this video, but also what you want me to do in the next live stream. Now that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. Let me know in the comments what you think and what you think I should do to improve the videos. And that's it for today. Peace.